And what you guys are going to do for this project is you're going to create a movie poster. You're going to have to follow this design brief, which you should be getting as a handout. The movie poster should fit the following requirements. So it should be file size 11 wide by 14 tall. So it should be taller than it is wide, meaning it should be a vertical layout. It should be 300 DPI and CMYK color mode. So make sure when you go to File, New, and you start your Illustrator file, make sure that you hit on all of those things. The poster that you're designing should advertise an actual movie that is either currently in theaters, is coming soon, or was previously released. It can be from any time period. It can be from the 80s, it can be from the 50s, it can be from any time period, as long as it was an actual movie that was actually created. So there should be a movie that exists. It can be a movie that you've seen. It can be something you've never seen. It could be your favorite movie. It could be maybe it's a movie you've never seen, but you just have a really great idea for what it could be. So you might work in two different ways. You might have a movie that you really love, that you really want to design for, and it might either come very easy to you because you know the movie very well, or it might come very difficult because you know the movie so well that you're trying so hard that you can't get it right. Or you might have a movie that you've seen it a few times, but you don't really care about it, but you have a really great idea for it. And that might be something that you want to pursue or look into because it might be easier for you to come up with that idea if you have it in your head already and you already know it's a strong solution. Whatever you do, you cannot copy or mimic what was already done in the actual movie poster, but you should research the original movie poster to see what was already done for it. So you don't want to copy what was already done, but you want to know what was already done so you can not copy it, and that's so you can get an idea of what was already done and what maybe that would inspire you for what could be done. The poster should contain only drawn graphics that are done in Illustrator or typography done in Illustrator. There should be absolutely no photos used. So no Photoshop. Any graphic that you want to use should be drawn. You should trace over it. If you want to use a person, you're going to have to redraw the person or you're going to have to use the silhouette. So it's really going to force you to think differently, think outside the box, try to come up with a solution that uses an image that doesn't fit the normal or think about it differently than what you'd normally see. You must include the following information: the title, the release date, and the actors' names. If you want to include any other thing, you can, but you must have at least those three things above. Some people like to include a tagline or a saying. Some people like to include the website, or some people even go as far as to put in the rating or the studio information and all that. So that's up to you. As long as you have the title, the release date, and the actors' names, you should be good to go. It must contain a drawn illustration or a graphic. It cannot be type only. So you can use typography. I'd love for you to use typography as a design element, but don't make it only typography based. You must include a drawn illustration. Your design layout should follow the principles of design. So remember what we learned. You're going to make sure that your alignment of text and imagery, there's some sort of alignment there. Things aren't just placed on the page arbitrarily. There should be a hierarchy of information, meaning the most important information should be the largest, the boldest, the darkest, or the biggest, going down to the least important. Your white space, make sure you have white space for your words to breathe, room for your eye to move around. It shouldn't be crammed in there. Balance, things you should have some sort of arrangement or flow. Things shouldn't just be placed arbitrarily on the page. Proximity of text and images and your use of space. So if you're going to group things together, maybe all the actors' names should go on the same line, or maybe the release date should stay together with the website. So things should be grouped together and positioned accordingly. Contrast, is everything the same size or is there variation in scale? So remember, if you're going to go with contrast, if things are not the same, they should be different, and they should be really, really, really different. So experiment with contrast. Don't forget to include white space. This is the number one mistake that young designers make, is they just kind of cram everything in there. You should have at least a 1/2 inch border on all sides of your poster to prevent your images or text from getting cut off, unless of course you are intending to have your images or text run full bleed, meaning that you want them to get cut off when printed. But this has to be an intentional design. It shouldn't be something like, oops, I just forgot to leave enough space and all my stuff got cut off. So you should really have it be intentional and not just an accident. Use your typography effectively. The fonts that you choose should relate to the movie. And don't forget the details like tracking, kerning, and leading. It's those really little things that matter the most. Layer your type if you need to. Use a decorative font. Use a supporting font. Whatever you need to do, make it pop. Make it very visual. Remember, a movie poster is hung up on the side of the street or on the side of a highway. When people are driving or walking by, they only have like 3 seconds to see your poster and to understand the information, to transmit it into their brain, and to get it, and to think, ooh, I want to see that movie. Remember, you're selling a movie. You want people to see it, and it has to be clear and legible and immediate for them to get it. So research actual movie posters to generate ideas. You can start saving. You can have a whole little folder of your favorite ones to pull ideas from. Be creative. Do your very best to come up with a unique and successful design solution. And overall, you must create 3 unique design solutions before determining your best one and moving forward to your final poster design. So consider these 3 choices to be like sketches. They don't have to be fully fleshed out or fully complete, but they should show that you've experimented with different type, different images, and different layouts before narrowing down or selecting your final one to move forward with. So you want to always play around with 3 or 4 different options before you go into your final. And the reason we do this is because a lot of times you'll do 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 choices, and you'll get stuck and you'll think, I can't go any further, whatever, I'm just going to pick one of these, when really the next one that you were going to come up with was going to be the best one. So you really have to push yourself to keep going, keep experimenting. It takes hours for designers to, keep coming up with new ideas and keep researching and keep looking for things for inspiration. But when you push yourself, that's when you'll get the best solution. So you guys have plenty of time in class to work on this. You'll have about 3 to 4 weeks of just studio day after studio day after studio day. Okay, so really put the time and effort into it. Really make it great, and we'll talk more about what needs to be done. But this is for you to start. You're going to come up with 3 different sketches, 3 different choices, and then you'll work it out from there. Okay, thank you.